Staying on the path that I've chosen, straight up, come my way, and I'll see you at the top. 'Cause something's gonna happen in this story.
Hi, I'm Sean.
And I'm Erica.
And we write for over Yonderlust.com.
We've been nomadic for about a year and a half now, officially. I'm 28 years old. Not 28, I lied. 29.
I however am 28.
Yeah, we'll just not talk about that.
Well, before we worked, I mean, maybe less than standard jobs, but we worked for video game companies. We worked for Blizzard, which I guess we hit a point in our professional lives that we were ready for change.
That's an understatement. Well, I quit after 3 years of working there and became a wedding photographer because I knew I wanted to get into photography. I think at that point, well, at least I realized that I'm not cut out for the cubicle thing.
Even in a less than formal setting.
Still cubicle.
Yeah. I worked right up until we left. We spent probably about 4 years paying off all of our debt and saving up money so that when we were ready to actually embark on our journey, we were as prepared as we could possibly be.
Now, our form of nomadism basically is like budget style, mainly because we never really traveled luxuriously before, so it's kind of a natural progression to go into a more budget-friendly state, I guess.
We're also pretty new at this still. We've only been nomadic for about a year, and I mean, we pretty much worked our asses off, saved up a bunch of money, and that's where we started. And now we're we finished our initial journey, and now we're kind of figuring out where we're going from here. And
so going through Latin America, basically we spent most of our time at either hostels or Couchsurfing. Couchsurfing, which if you haven't heard, is this really awesome website where you can hook up with other travelers who are willing to lend you their couch. And the really awesome thing about it is that you get like a local's perspective, and you get to be invited into things that you normally wouldn't have. So we got ourselves into really interesting situations.
Always positive.
Yeah, always positive. It's just situations regardless. But I mean, other than that, we were averaging like $50 a day between both of us, except in a few places like Argentina and Mexico, which tend to be a little more expensive. But like, I know in Guatemala we were averaging under $30 for both of us, and at least in Bolivia. But Bolivia,
there's so much to do.
Yeah.
That you spend a lot of money just doing all the fun stuff.
So, but yeah, we went from Mexico to Argentina by bus, and actually I think by the end of the trip we calculated that we were on a bus for over 20 days straight.
We're basically back in Austin, where we're from, kind of, I guess, trying to wrap up again, whereas before we kind of prepared, and now we're basically doing the same thing but for a much shorter amount of time. We're only here for about 4 months, and then we're leaving for Iceland and Europe, and then after that,
we'll see.
Yeah, the world's kind of our oyster again after that. So
we've got a lot of opportunities. Mainly, like, we have to debate whether or not we want to teach in Japan, or if we want to end up spending our winter in Mexico, or I don't know. There's just too many things right now. Our basic goal is to allow life to just unfold, and then we'll make a decision when the time comes, because honestly I don't want to make too many decisions ahead of time. Otherwise you lose out on a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, the opportunities are everywhere if you're open to them.
Is basically we lived off of one person's income while the other person worked, and the other person went straight into savings. So by the time we left with $16,000 for a year trip. And what they do is the basic backpacker budget is supposed to be $1,000 per person per month. So on the high side we were spending about $2,000 a month, but overall we were spending anywhere from $1,200 to $1,500 a month. And then on top of that, I'm a photographer, so I did make some money on my photography.
Well, we kind of played with it. At first it was kind of we're going to do it anyway, see if, we're going to kind of throw it against the wall, see if it sticks kind of thing.
Get stuck.
not be overly reliant on it. And like she was saying before, at first we were just like, oh, we started making money on the blog. Cool, we're going to use that to do some really expensive thing, like we're going to go get scuba certified.
Or advanced scuba certified.
Advanced scuba certified, and we're not going to leave this island for over a month. But we kind of used it to enhance the trip. And then by the end of the trip, we were making enough money with it that we were actually making more than we were spending. So then, granted, we were putting in quite a bit more time than maybe when we were first
Keep in mind that we were making, I think, towards everything, like from the start of when we started making money to the end of when we were making money, I think we're still only averaging like $2 an hour.
It's a big time investment initially.
The return on investment is really, really long, which is why I think that travel bloggers will be like, yeah, this is a really great idea, and then drop off the face of the planet because they don't realize how much work is involved. Because it's definitely a labor of love, and you have to have passion for it, because it's nice to get money, but we definitely don't do it for the money. Because if we did, that'd be really, really sad, pathetic existence right now. So, going through Latin America, we encountered a lot of third world countries. There's a few surprising things about them, mainly is that they do have more Wi-Fi opportunities than a lot of first world countries. However, the speed of which the internet is at is probably back in 1994. Yeah,
it's not uncommon to go to like the park in the central part of town, and they're having just free Wi-Fi throughout the entire park. But it's like being on dial-up, so it's not.
Yeah, there were several times helpful. Like we tried to. There was one company that wanted a video interview with us, and so what we had to do is do our interview and then upload it. But it took us 36 hours plus to. That's just so awesome to realize, is that everybody wants the same thing. They just want to love and laugh and have a good life. And I think that's one of the big things that I didn't anticipate, is that so many people across the world, no matter what the cultures are, they're exactly the same. And it's really awesome that you get to meet and find these awesome kindred spirits and stuff.
Straight up, flying through the troubles laid before me. Can't you feel